Good morning. If everyone
That's
can
where it
grab
should
your
be.
coffee and food and have a seat, we'll begin in about 15 seconds. How do you like this new microphone? I don't have to eat the microphone anymore. Thank you, Eric and Lee Tech and Crystal and Miranda for your great efforts here. Okay.
I haven't seen it.
All right. If everyone could take your seat, we'll bang this meeting to order. Good morning and welcome to the City of Leon Valley Coffee with the Mayor and City Council. Today's Saturday, July 25th, 2026, and it's approximately 4 minutes after 9. And we do have a quorum present. I believe I've got most of them. Let's see. Let me go through. Place one is Danielle Bolton here. I didn't see her.
She's here.
Is she?
Yep.
Oh, good.
Miss
All right.
Bolton.
So yes, stand up and just wave. I want to
She's
recognize
up.
my council.
Wave.
Okay, there she is. And Councilor Ray Orozco, Councilor Philip Campos, Mayor Pro Tem Beth Mersch, and Betty Heil, precinct, place 2. All right, do we have everybody? Fantastic. Well, thank you. I want to thank the council for being here and thank all the staff, Dr. Caldera and everybody that's here to present the budget this morning. So glad you're all here. Leon Valley Council will host this coffee, and we do have some guidelines that I need to read. The meeting shall be called to order, which we've done, and it will be adjourned at the time designated on the agenda. Discussion regarding questions or issues brought up by citizens shall be limited to factual information and existing policies related to the question or issue. Except for deliberation and our decisions regarding whether to place an issue on the agenda for a subsequent meeting, no action may be taken today. Items brought forward by citizens which require action by the City Council shall be placed on a subsequent agenda for full discussion and action by City Council. So whatever we want to place in the future, we can do that. Should the meeting result in City Council members being dispersed amongst the public, then no 3 City Council members shall be involved in any single discussion because that constitutes a quorum. So, all right, with that said, before we begin, we have citizens be heard. We have a presentation on the feedback on the 4th of July event and fiscal year 2026-27 proposed budget. But what I'd like to make sure is that if you would like to speak on any of those issues, could you please raise your hand and let us bring you the mic and you can state your name and just generally where you reside. Okay, so that sounds great. I appreciate it. Is there anything else?
I would like to switch the budget first, but before the 4th of July
Okay,
presentation.
the budget first before the 4th of July. If there's no objection, we will do that. And there's no objection. Okay, so citizens to be heard. Number 3. Is there anyone in the chambers, or I keep saying chambers, the conference center, that would like to address the City Council on citizens to be heard? Okay, I think everybody's here to discuss the other 2 items, correct? All right, well, wonderful. Well, thank you. Well, then with that, then we will move to presentation 4.2 first, fiscal year 2026-2027 proposed budget. I don't know, is this about our 4th or 5th presentation? We keep going through it. We keep trying to find ways to shrink our deficit, and Dr. Caldera is here this morning to present, and thank you so much. And please come forward, and should I put this mic out?
No, that's
We
for
have
her.
extras.
I don't have extras. Man, the loaves and the fishes. I can't believe it. We go from, it's great. Thank you. All right. So welcome, Dr. Caldera.
It should be on already.
Testing, hello, can you hear me? Okay, good.
All right, so click here, hold on. Got it. And where do I have to?
Arrow, got it?
There you go. All right, I have to be around here. All right. It's a little bit of a delay here. Okay, distribution. So essentially, so this PowerPoint is 175 slides. I am not gonna put you through 175 slides. So I'm gonna hit the highlights of this presentation. The presentation can be found online. We'll put it on the home website, but right now it's under today's meeting. So if you would like to see it in detail, it's under agendas and minutes.
What slide do you want me to go to?
Let's see here. Oh, is that me or you?
It's me.
Okay,
It's faster
hold
me.
Okay, hold on.
Back, forward.
Go back. Sorry. All right. Let me see if okay.
Okay.
Stop. Let me see if I can get it from here.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. All right. So I'm just trying to get a feel for. All right. So some of our technology we got working. Just be patient with me just a little bit. Essentially, our property evaluations have gone down if you look at the totality of our property evaluations, but you'll see in your single family residence that your property evaluations did go up. And we always kind of give a tax rate history presentation. Currently we're sitting at 0.54, but in the past we've been as high as 0.57. I think there's always kind of this thing that the council adopted last year, the highest tax rate in 20 years the city's ever had. That's not true. We have had higher tax rates in the past. In 2014, we were sitting at 0.57. In 15, we were at 0.56. In 16, we were 0.55. And then we went back to 0.54 in 18. And so again, the statement of us being the highest we've ever been is just not an accurate statement. Moving forward though, your property valuations for the homeowners, our average taxable value went from 230 to 217, which has decreased the amount of ad valorem tax the city is getting. If you take a look at your overall projected fund balance, you are sitting at a pretty healthy fund balance. When I first took over, you were roughly sitting at about $3 million. With your capital fund reserve, your emergency fund, and some future capital purchase expenses, you're sitting at about 7.1. But your emergency fund is less than a month, but your overall operating income is sitting at 5.3. But currently right now, the budget is sitting at $554,000 deficit. I'm sorry, oh my God, 400, it was 500 last week. So 454,000. Essentially, what's happening right now is we're waiting on two things. We're waiting on the county to come in and tell us what our new revenue rate is going to be. And the second is the employee health insurance program. The employee health insurance program is roughly about $150,000 of this deficit. We're programming about $150,000 increase in health insurance benefits next year. Now, we program that in just in case. Health insurance rates have gone up substantially, so we programmed a 15% increase for next year. Our goal is to either restructure the health insurance benefits to keep that amount down. We switched providers last year. We were Blue Cross Blue Shield for over 17 years, and we moved to United Healthcare in order to help combat that increase last year. And so we have gone out for bid for health insurance coverage, and so we're hoping to eventually get that 15% increase down somewhat. And hopefully that will help impact this deficit. We'll get there. All right. So for those of you that kind of want to know where our tax dollars go as far as revenue, the majority of our revenue here in the city of Leon Valley does come from property tax, followed by the city's sales tax. One of the big things we did is we did some restructuring. The council had directed myself to start looking at moving police patrol officers out of the red light camera fund. For those of you that are new with us and haven't been following along with the red light camera fund, the red light camera fund will end in 2037. We currently pay for several employees out of there as well as other contractual obligations out of the red light camera fund. Those items between now and 2037 will have to be moved over into your general fund unless you're willing to cut police officers. So that becomes the conversation. So what we did this year is we did some restructuring. We moved some money over from your Community and Conference Center fund over into your Economic Development fund, and we moved 2 police officers back into your general fund, moved your Community Relations Director, 1 patrol officer, and your Animal Control and Code Enforcement over into your Economic Development fund. And so that's what these 2 subsequent slides describe and explain. And then I'm going to move through the next few. Actually, I'm going to hit on this one just a little bit. So everybody asks, where is my money going with the city? The majority of your money is going to your fire department, followed by your police department, then your public works, is the big piece of the pie. The other one that always comes out is, how is my money being spent? The majority of your money is in personnel cost. You employ about 122 employees. That includes police, fire, public works, and all of your administrative staff. Okay, so this is the slide that I like to spend the most time on. It is your summary of your general fund. This is where the majority of your property tax and your sales tax kind of go into. And so what you will see is your total resources sit about $17 million. But out of this $17 million, if you go here to the little footnote, our hike and bike trail grant is in there, assigned fund balance is in there, and tree mitigation. So it actually reduces your revenue to $15.5 million. Your expenditures are sitting at $19.3 million, and your personnel, and that's broken down your personnel, supplies, and contractual. And what is in this $19 million is this $3.3 million in your capital outlay. This does not hit your operating expenses. These are your large purchases that you have through the year, which hit your capital fund reserve, what I went over earlier as sitting at $5 million. And so that $3 million is going to hit that. Your ending fund balance, that's why your ending fund balance is sitting at 5.6. Any kind of questions on your general fund reserve? No? Okay. On that other slide, I mentioned some future purchases. The future purchases are your ambulance. We did receive an $800,000 grant to do renovations at your Forest Oaks pool. We have to come up with the other $800,000. So last year, the council set aside $200,000. And so that's where that $200,000 came from. Your fire department, SCABA equipment is also very expensive. And so last year, the council set aside $75,000. Oh, and then your ambulance, but we purchased your ambulance, and so that $200,000 is estimated to be spent this year. And so we do break down in detail how your ad valorem tax is broken down, your sales tax and your franchise fees. We break down your licensing fees and fines because you see it in general terms. Everybody wants to know the breakdown. These are all the licenses, fines, fees from building, tree mitigation, food trucks, impound lot, all of your grants. Other that's listed on your general fund is also broken down from your interest and income to your cafe lease, your Blue Santa. And then all of our transfers in. We hit our personnel shared services, your PEG fund, which is a public education. The city of Leon Valley back in the 80s opted into what's considered a franchise, or it's not even a franchise fees. It's a fee that the utilities pay into in order to support public education. And so first time ever, the city was able to tap into that this year, and y'all have had it for quite some time. And we've been able to do some upgrades to your community, to your council chambers, as well as we're hoping to do some upgrades in this room. And so you won't see the tape and stuff on the floor for future meetings. The general fund revenues and expenditures are broken down into great detail. I'm not going to go through all of the detail in each of the funds, but your municipal court is here. And you can see I broke down your municipal court all the way from postage to we dry clean the judge's robes once a year, how much it costs for jury trials, how much we pay the judge, all of the utility portion that the court pays for. Everything is broken down into detail. And the reason that I'm kind of showing these slides so you know that all the departments are broken down into this detail, because I'm going to go wash through the rest of this pretty quickly. Your finance department is the next department. These are all the details of expenditures and revenue. Your city manager and council fund, which has not just your city manager and council, it houses your human resources director, your city secretary, your Angela, who is our payroll executive admin, is also paid out of here. So people see city manager and city council. Council doesn't get a check, so they see the $751,000 and they think that's the city manager's paycheck, and it is not my paycheck. That houses other employees in there. The city manager and city council fund is also broken down into great detail. Janitorial supplies, meeting supplies, this morning's breakfast is also sits in there where you see council activity, coffee meetings. We budget $600 to provide coffee, water, and things of that nature for y'all. City manager budget continued, all of our contractual services. I always like to hit on this. The big one here is your attorney contract and your elections in this fund. Information technology, we use a contractor who is here today. You can wave Eric. Eric is from TechLead. They come in, they help us with all of our technology needs. We used to have a person on staff. We have been kind of using Eric as well as the staff to help with projects, RFPs, so we're not paying for a personnel or person out of there. I'm trying to reorganize the city's budget and get all of IT under one umbrella eventually. So each year I start moving things slowly over into this budget so we can see what we're paying for technology and see if there's anywhere that we can decrease that amount. The majority of expenses, as you can see in office supplies, because I don't have an actual person I'm paying for, we don't budget for any of that. We have broken down our contracts. The biggest purchase out of here is going to be Civic Plus. Let's see if my little light will work. Oh, here we go. And that is your website, but it's not just your website. It is your archive social. We are required to, anytime we post anything on our city website, it has to be archived through records retention. That's state law. The other big thing that's happening next year is part of legislation that passed last year, and I'm gonna mess up the House Bill. House Bill 23, I don't know. One of the House bills requires us now to be, our website to be ADA accessible. And what that means is every page on our city website must be considered readable and must be able to hit all of the ADA, which includes blind or hearing impaired. That portion currently right now is in this $13,000. So you'll see a $6,000 increase. That's how much the company is charging us to implement that ADA now accommodation on our city website. We are, at the beginning of next year, going to go out for RFPs to see if we can get lower cost. We also last year opted into mass notification system. Part of that mass notification system deals with being able to text y'all. That was a result of the flood that happened in Kerrville. And so it's geo-fenced, so everybody would get a notification that's in the city of Leon Valley. It would ping your phone if we needed to notify anybody in this 3.5 square miles of catastrophe. The police department is one of your larger budgets. This is the overall summary of your police department budget. We do break it down in great detail. You can see everything from fingerprinting kits to fuel, your radio equipment. The biggest increase, the police department did a really good job in their budget and trying not to increase the budget. They actually took some cuts for next year. But the biggest increase you'll see is fuel. As we all know, fuel prices have gone up, and so that's their percentage in fuel has gone up. Again, we break down the police department budget in great detail. You will see anything from our copier contract all the way down to your CAD system. Now you'll see your Exxon tasers. It's not that we don't have them, we move them into a different budget. And we'll get to that. I also broke down your capital outlay. So in that $3 million you saw in the very beginning that we're spending in next year's larger purchases, you will see that we're going to purchase, the city of Leon Valley has a small little gym for our police and fire department. Fire department has their own little workout area as well. But this has old equipment in there that was purchased in 2015 when we built the new building. And so each year we're purchasing one new item in there. This year we bought one treadmill, next year will be one treadmill, but the majority if you go in there, we'll see some of that equipment is pretty outdated. The next big thing is we're budgeting for property room plans. The total for the property room plans and engineering is $500,000 that I budgeted, and I'm gonna hear gasps. It is a lot of money. We're looking at 3 options. Your property room must be in compliance. When we originally built the new building, they really weren't thinking into the future in regards to space and storing of evidence. We have several laws that we have to abide by in evidence storage, and we're running out of space where we're currently at. We actually recently knocked down a wall and took up some space in the back in order to remain as compliant as we can be. But we do have to do something for the future in regards to your property room. So when people say, oh, your reserve fund is too high, the reason that the council has opted to keep it sitting as a little bit higher is we're hoping we would be able to pay for that expansion out of your general fund reserve in the future. So we're not having to go out for a bond and again, increasing your ad valorem tax. Do I think we'll use all 500,000? No, probably not. I do want to look at several options because I want to get you the best bang for your buck with the longest longevity. So we're looking at 3 options. One is to expand into the left side of the police department parking lot area, moving the gym area that's right there, possibly across the street into a little house that the city of Leon Valley owns, or moving the property room to the little house across the street, or down the street in a lot of land that the city owns. So we're looking at all 3 options. Whatever's the most cost effective for the longest amount of time will be the option I'm hoping the council will choose. The next one is your impound lot. For those of you that don't know, the city of Leon Valley does have an impound lot. And for the most part, this is a self-ran department in the sense that what we receive in auctions and in fees cover the cost to run your impound lot. But it also pays for a detective. Jimmy, for those of you that have been here a long time, Jimmy Wells is the person that runs this. Next is your fire department. Again, we've broken down the fees. What you will see here as the largest increase here, again, is their EMS building collections. That is also a wash. You'll see that increased on the revenue side as well. We use what's called Emergicon. Emergicon does our billing for us, and sometimes we have years where they collect more for us, and we have to pay them a percentage of the collections. Your other machinery and equipment, fire department is getting a lot of equipment or requesting a lot of equipment for next year from your capital. They're asking for a stretcher, which is about $50,000, rescue airbags, which is $30,000, thermal imaging camera, which is outdated, $30,000, and your Extron server, which is in the fire department training room. We do try to save the city money in regards to training. We do a lot of in-house training. And so they have a training room over there in the fire department. Their AV equipment was installed back in 2014. It bit the dust, it needs to be replaced, and that's about $15,000. Your ambulance with power load system is $250,000. This is the other piece of the $200,000 the council budgeted last year for the ambulance purchase. So when it comes next year, we'll be able to pay off that $400,000 bill. So one of the other reasons you build your reserve fund is you're able to set aside those funds and then have those funds available into your upcoming years. We do need a replacement support truck, which is $100,000. People freak out when they see that. They're like, we can go get a F-150 down the street for $50,000. These are specialized trucks. They get stripped out. A lot of it has cameras, lights, and stuff installed on the vehicle. That's why they're expensive. Auto Pulse is for $45,000. Your Public Works Department, which is your next large fund. Again, we've broken down your Public Works Department in great detail. Fuel is your next largest increase for Public Works. We do use contracts. We do have diesel here at the Public Works yard, and so they are able to fuel up here. We do our best to make sure we shop around when it comes to fueling all of our vehicles. We pretty much didn't increase anything in the Public Works budget. For the most part, David did a really good job of trying our best to keep things as close to status quo as possible. The small increases you're seeing are just kind of the cost of doing business. The big one that we did add here is City Hall AC cleaning. Where we haven't gone through and cleaned our air duct system, and so we did get a complaint in another building. So I look at that as us being put on notice. So we're going to move through the city buildings and get the air ducts cleaned. So as far as big capital, you'll see the F-150 for $65,000, another truck for $65,000. The Public Works, Plans and Engineering. So if you've been with us for a long time, plans for remodeling the Public Works Department has been on the books since 2010. We've been trying to do upgrades. We've had bond oversight committees. twice to review this project. So what I'm essentially requesting from the council is $300,000 for engineering services for the Public Works building, and not so much for the original plans. The original plans asked, I think, for 2.7 million, and a lot of that had to do with ADA compliance and making the building accessible to the public. We're gonna try to downgrade that a little bit and just give them a little bit of space. So it still won't be accessible to the public. The public would still have to go to City Hall to get their questions answered. But Public Works will be able, right now, well, during the rain event, if you walk through Public Works, you'll see about 5 cans all around the building catching water. So the guys just kind of have to maneuver through Public Works as the building drips when it rains. And so they do their best with roofing patch jobs. But the building was just built so long ago that it just needs to be renovated. Planning and Zoning Department. But again, I'm trying really hard to make sure any building infrastructure, y'all paid $8 million, you're still paying on that debt for City Hall. The goal is to hopefully try to pay for some of that out of your general fund reserve. I understand that increasing property tax is a hard pill to swallow for many of y'all, so my goal is to try to meet some of those renovations, or at least offset some of those renovation costs with your reserve fund. Your Planning and Zoning Department is next. Michael, I didn't introduce my staff while we were standing here. So Michael's here. Raise your hand, Michael. Where are you at? There he is. There's Michael. And then we went over Fire Department. Chief Naughton, can you raise your hand? We went over Police Department. Chief Gonzalez, raise your hand. We went over Public Works. David, raise your hand. There you go. So as we go through, so you can see, it's tie faces to names. And then we went over the City Manager Council. I'm the City Manager, but Sandra, raise your hand. And Lisa was gonna come, but I don't see her here, so Lisa's our Human Resources Director. Next is your economic, let me touch on your planning and zoning. Planning and zoning, you will see, when you see this, if you're at home, you'll see all of these amounts here, building inspection, and you'll see these large numbers, $500,000. What you don't, or what you need to understand is that is also offset by your revenue. So we make the contractors and developers pay these fees. We have to expend those for our contractors, but we make the developers pay them. So you'll also see this same amount that's here on your revenue side under building inspections as well.
Crystal
Yes.
Carol Guerin.
Oh, we went over the finance department. Carol, where are you at? Carol's the one that did this. I'm just up here presenting and taking all the credit for all these wonderful slides. So she's really the one that takes all the credit for all this. Court. Oh, there's Tiffany. Yes, Court. Raise your hand, Tiffany. All right, raise your hand, Tiffany. So if you get a ticket, it's Tiffany's fault now.
Thank you.
Yes, sorry. Thank you, Mary. Appreciate it. Economic development. Where is Sarah? Sarah's your new economic development director. So Sarah, raise your hand. She just started with us. She's hit her 3-month mark, and so we're very happy to have Sarah on our team. Your economic development budget is really helping offset some of your expenses in your general fund. And so we're using a lot of the revenue coming in to pay for some positions for next year. But you can see we've broken down your economic development funds and how they're being spent. What you don't see this year that's different is an economic development project line item. And the big reason for that is we're using that fund to cover for a patrol officer in order to help offset the deficit. But what you will see is that you, hold on, let's see. Oh, no, I didn't put it on here.
It's like 500.
Where is it at? I was trying to see. It's roughly 500,000 sitting over there. I'll find it somewhere. But it's about 500,000 left in your ending reserve fund. And so your reserve fund, if you were to have an economic development project next year, would come from your reserve fund. We do have some incentive projects. So for those of you that are wondering, what do you do with our economic development money? The city did have an incentive package next to City Hall. If you'll remember, it was an old Pilgrim's Cleaner building that's been sitting vacant for many years. The staff absolutely hated coming into City Hall, having a vacant building next to them that wasn't well maintained, and so they worked out an agreement with Royal Tile. Royal Tile is, yeah, very nice. They sell tile flooring in there, and they do bring in sales tax to the city. And so we worked out a deal with Royal Tile, and the remainder of that contract is $15,000. We call it the Little Caesars agreement. but it is next to Chacho's. I always get Chacho's and Chachos mixed up. In front of there, you'll see a new building being constructed. It is going to be a Little Caesars on the corner and 2 other rooms or into a small mini shopping center. What was there before, I call it the China Bowl, but it wasn't, because that's what I knew it as, but it was Wiki or China Place. And so that building was, what I've been told, was an old McDonald's, Jack in the Box, Burger King. And so it had been Chinese food places over the years. It needed to be torn down. It was an older building. And so we did that. And not only that, but we were able to increase sales tax potential or other business potential because we've turned 1 business space into 3. And one of those will be the Little Caesars. We did put $150,000 over here, which is the other portion of the Public Works engineering and plans for the Public Works building. And then Tyler Technologies, for those of you that don't know, our financial software comes through what we call Encode. And Encode is a Tyler's Technology software system. And the city's been with them since 2004 timeframe. And so now they're forcing kind of all the cities, and we're not the only city that's with them, to go to the cloud. We have a firm server there, and so moving everything to the cloud is about $100,000. We're putting it in this budget, but it's going to be an 18-month move. But that is sitting here for right now. Your code enforcement and animal control is mostly personnel that sits over here, but we do have some contracts with San Antonio Pets Alive. We typically utilize Paul's Ranch to help us when we have dogs that have been with us for quite some time. We try our best to keep our pets alive, rescued, as much as we can. Our special events budget. Next year we have $15,000 in there for a small 4th of July event, Christmas tree lighting, and Earthwise Living. So for those of you that are here to discuss 4th of July, that is the next presentation. And so for right now, we have $15,000 sitting in there. There's a lot of questions as part of that 4th of July presentation. So we're happy that we hope that you stay and participate in that survey. Your Parks and Rec, which is another big portion of your budget. The biggest thing that we purchase out of here is all of your parks maintenance, your mulch, your padding, any equipment repairs. Some of our equipment in our park has been there for a really long time, and we do our best to salvage them. For those of you that haven't been to the park lately, you will see a new merry-go-round being installed. We had asked for that merry-go-round at least 3 budget cycles. We finally got it because the other one, they've already told us, once it's done, it's done. It's still there, it's still working, but it's on its last leg. And from what I've been told, it's been there since the late 80s. So.
It's been there forever. Longer than that.
Has it?
It was there in the 70s when I was little. It was awesome.
The other thing I'd like to know in this kind of budget is your pool maintenance portion. Next year, we're not planning on the pool being open because we think we're going to be under renovations at that time. So the pool contract and pool maintenance really isn't in this budget for next year. The big caveat to that's a $100,000 contract. So next year, your operating expenses will at least be $100,000 more because that pool contract isn't in here. Parks and Rec. The biggest thing in your capital you'll see is your hike and bike trail. This is a grant funded initiative. And you'll see they're already clearing out. They've been telling us for the last 3 years, we're gonna start. Well, they're finally starting. So we're hoping to finish that phase. Our Veterans Memorial Monument should get here October, so that's the remaining balance for that monument. The hike and bike trail sprinkler system, we would like to change from using potable water to recycled water. That's $366,000, but that will help water your trees and do the irrigation along the LC-17 project or hike and bike trail segment 1. Tree removal mitigation, we have $90,000 sitting over here, but that is going to be offset by tree mitigation funds. We're gonna move money that you have sitting in your tree mitigation over here. All of that has to do with your dead trees. The city council passed an ordinance to not allow private property owners to have dead trees on your property. And so we also have to come into compliance with the ordinance. So any dead tree that the city has on the city right of way also needs to be removed. And so Public Works can do some of it, but the larger trees that have massive trunks need to be done by professional. And then the natural area itself, from what we've been told, there's a lot of down trees, there's a lot of dead trees, and that needs to be cleared up. I don't know if we'll spend all $90,000 in the natural area. Public Works has said they could do a lot of it, especially the trees that are down. It's the ones that are still erect. Library, this is the library, everybody loves the library. Regina did a really good job. Regina, where are you at? Raise your hand. There she is. Hey, Regina. And so if you're looking at my screen and you see this lovely work of art right here in Purple Crown, that was left by us by children visiting us for one of our library activities. But we need to paint inside of here, so no harm, no foul. Here at the library, the majority of Regina's money goes into library materials, and a lot has to do with her programs. The Friends of the Library really do support the library and their large programming, like the Summer Carnival and the Big Rig Petting Zoo, and golf is about to happen next week. And so they really do help support the library and a lot of their big events. The library department, the big thing that we have in here is their flooring. So if you haven't been in the back of the training room lately, it's pretty bad. We've tried to have it cleaned. That building was done in 2012, 2013, and so the flooring needs to be done. So we do have carpet tiling put in there for about $110,000. I'm going to move on to your enterprise fund. Can you tell me what time I have? I'm trying to stick to an hour.
It is 9:40.
Okay. So I'm going to move on to your enterprise fund. For those of you that don't know, you have a water system here. 2/3 of the City of Leon Valley population is on City of Leon Valley water. Your operating revenues is sitting at 5.5, and your operating expenses is sitting at 4.7. We do transfer out for personnel services at 1.3. That includes your public works staff, finance, your cashiers are all transferred out into your general fund. So your enterprise fund also helps support your general fund. And everybody always asks us, well, what are impact fees? How can we use impact fees? How much do we have in impact fees? Impact fees are used to purchase water rights or large water infrastructure items. Our citizens do not pay into the impact fees. Impact fees are paid by new development and new developers. And currently, right now, we have $952,000 sitting over there. And when we use that to pay, again, for your water rights, and this goes over the law and why we can't just use that for whatever we want to use it for. And then what's prohibited. And your enterprise fund is broken down into your water and sewer sales. And we do transfer out for personnel services, but the big portion of this is your capital and contractual services. And we do break out your water, sewer, and stormwater. The big one, the reason that we do this is your stormwater funds can only be used for certain things. This is a summary of your overall ending fund balance. It has gone up if you have been watching us. The council has decided to reduce their capital from $500,000 for water and sewer main replacements to $150,000 each. And that has increased your ending fund balance. The other big thing that is notable here is the City of Leon Valley. The council signed a resolution on July 14th to go out to a Texas Development Water Board grant, upwards of $21 million. The council, right before Melinda left, voted on water priorities. We finally have a water plan. We have a sewer plan as well. But your water infrastructure is a very important portion. We want to make sure when you turn on your tap, water comes out. The city hasn't done very much to improve your water infrastructure here, and that was put in the majority of it in the 60s and 70s timeframe, and nothing lives forever, and so it's time for some of that to be replaced. I would hate for us to continue to ignore that, and one day you turn on water and not have water. So the councils have really invested a lot of time, energy, and thought behind those plans. And so we're hoping to offset that by getting a really large grant from the federal government. We're hopeful that we'll at least maybe not get 20 million, but get some money in regards to that. We do break down your water and sewer and stormwater. You'll see that your stormwater ending fund balance is low. The council would like to fix the erosion project that is behind the Huebner Historical Onion House. If you haven't been back there, there is a Grand Canyon, like the mayor likes to say, dealing with a recycled water line that's back there. And the council has also invested a lot of time and energy into looking at different options to cause the least amount of impact to the natural area, but give you the best bang for your buck in regards to that. And so we'll be holding a workshop between the council and the Historical Society with the city engineer to kind of go over those options in the next month or so. Right, Mayor? At some
Probably
point.
in the fall.
In the fall.
Yeah. I don't. Gotta get the budget done first.
Yeah, believe me, thank you, I appreciate it. And so we do break down your water, we split it up, and your water expenses and expenditures are laid out here. Okay. We do break this fund down in detail. This is one of the budgets that I continue to work on. I would like this one even more in detail, kind of similar to what we've done to your general fund. I hate to use the term zero-based budgeting, but over the last 5 years, that's essentially what the staff has been doing, is kind of going back, scraping off any excess fat, anything we haven't used, and making sure that the upcoming budget years we're budgeting more accurately. So we really do break down and take all of our invoices to make sure all of our expenditures are accounted for. Your water budget is, in my feeling, is still a little bit generic in those terms, and so we're going to make an effort over the next couple of years to kind of hone in on your water budget, your water and sewer budget. But we do have a lot of contracts. Your enterprise fund really does help your general fund, because we do split a lot of our technology costs in general fund, but because the water fund does utilize those technologies, they're also paid out of here as well, including Tech Lead, including Novo, ShareNet, all of those things are also paid out of here. Again, we have 140,000 in water rights still in here. We were unclear, I don't remember if council decided to reduce that or not, but we do have, because that comes from your impact fees. It's offset by your impact fees. But we did reduce your expenditures for your water mains to 150,000. Your sewer as well. Your sewer is broken down into your contractual services and professional services. We utilize this budget as well to help offset your general fund in a lot of different ways. And the big one here is we just reduced replacing your water mains by our sewer mains by 150,000. And your stormwater fund, we do utilize this fund to break down for repairs and drainage, your flood control system, all of that is paid out here. And they also take a portion of your fuel cost as well. We are looking at just the capital for the Huebner Creek erosion control for next year, and we just didn't decrease it there, but we decreased it on the other side to 700,000. So my apologies, just didn't update that slide. Your red light cameras. Your red light cameras, your ending fund balance is sitting at 500,000. This is what we talk about of what's remaining in your red light cameras when you look at your expenditures. So that expenditure, for the most part, not all of it, but some of it will have to be taken up by your general fund when the contract ends in 2037. The big hit to your ending fund balance in your red light cameras had to do with offset in covering the cost for last year. We did take a chunk because we didn't receive enough in red light camera revenue last year to cover what we budgeted last year, and so we did take a chunk of that last year. This year we're tracking pretty well in your red light cameras, so it just kind of ebbs and flows over there. But we do have personnel still budgeted over there. And we do use the red light camera funds to offset stuff in your general fund, to include your city attorney contract. Your audit is also, a portion of your audit is also paid out of here. We pay your ammunition that we outline with the police officers. We pay a portion out of here as well. So this fund really does help your police department budget.
Can you hear me? No, am I not loud enough? Okay, so your traffic fund is part of your red light camera fund. Your red light camera fund is broken down into 2 tiers, based on the statute. The statute breaks it down into 2 tiers. The reason you see no personnel over here is those 2 personnel went into your general fund. This was our effort to start removing personnel from your red light camera fund over into your general fund, to be prepared in 2037. And then you'll see the cost here. Fuel is also paid out of here. We really try hard. If everything were to be in the general fund for fuel, you'll see that you'll 10,000 here, 15,000 in another fund, as well as 65,000 in your general fund. So fuel does cost a lot. Your police cars are running 24/7, 365 days a year. They have to be ready to go, so they are up and running. The big purchase out of here is 1 vehicle. We'll move on to your crime control district. Your revenue is sitting at 456,000. Your expenditure is 444,000. We really try to utilize all of the other funds to help offset the cost to your general fund. And here you will see the biggest chunk taken out of here is in your capital outlay. And we do break down here, you pay your tasers out of here, part of your CAD system out of here, radio time out of here. So again, all of those items, if you didn't have your crime control prevention district tax, you would have to pay for that out of your general fund. This one will be coming up next year for y'all to re-elect. And so again, just please understand when you're going to the ballot in 2028, that you vote for your crime control, because you can see how much,
And what personnel do you pay out of that?
you pay 3, how many personnel do I pay out of your card? 3? 2 personnel is paid out of here. We are asking for 1 detective vehicle, and then SWAT camera seems to be a touchy subject. We did get the first year covered by grant. This is year 2. Year 2 is in your capital budget for 50,000 in your crime control. So somebody will say, why can't we use the 50,000 to pay for 4th of July? It's sitting in a separate fund. That fund can only be used for crime control prevention items. Your property room plans, here's the other 100,000. Your community center fund is operating revenues is 100,000 and expenditures is 100,000. The big thing that we pay over here is mostly your maintenance, cleaning. We try to do 2 big cleans, which is the windows, really kind of getting the floors waxed and done. We hold a lot of events, including weddings, baby showers, quinceañeras in both of these buildings. And so they do get used quite a lot. See here, we do pay for some contractual services. Crystal Miranda runs these, and so she is our community relations director, and so she needs things like Canva, all of those Facebook posts that you see posting. She uses those softwares in order to make that happen. Bathroom renovation is a large item that we're looking at. It's just the bathroom renovation in this building. We did the bathroom renovation 2 years ago at the community center. It's time for this building to get bathrooms done. Your street maintenance tax is another fund that you will see come up here in the near future for you to vote on. This covers your mill and overlay on your streets. It cannot cover new construction of the streets. One of the big things that you will see upcoming in the next 3 months is we are trying to merge your street maintenance plan with your water and sewer plan. So then that way when we replace your water and sewer, we can then help do your streets. And so we have done quite a few mill and overlay projects this year, but next year we're hoping the council will adopt a plan so they kind of go hand in hand. We're going to go through your quick special revenue funds. We do have court building security, child safety fund, municipal court technology, your debt services, and your police forfeiture fund. These kind of go over what you can use the funds for. Your LEOS fund can only be used for police officer training, so we do use that and we zero out that account. Your court building security fund is funded through municipal court fees. We do use it. You do have an ending fund balance here. This fund, for the most part, helps support your technology. We buy like the receipt machines, pen pads, signature pads in the court. Your child safety fund is your school crossing guards. Anybody looking at being a school crossing guards, I have 2 vacancies, please. See Sandra in the back if you'd like an application. That's your child safety fund. Again, it covers the majority of your school crossing guards. You will start seeing ending fund balance here because I have not been able to fill school crossing guard positions. So if you know anybody that's interested, please send them our way. I really want to make sure we continue to keep the Heidner school crossing guard coming off of Leon Valley Elementary to have the children be able to walk across Heidner safely. Municipal Court Technology Fund. We use this for your wanding, computer replacement for the judges. We've gone almost completely paperless in our court system, and so all of the technology that goes along with that is only paid out of this fund. This fund was merged with something, right, Carol? Technology fund. So the Texas State Legislature merged the 2 funds together, so you will see that this ending fund balance will go over into that fund eventually.
5 minutes.
Your debt service fund, it is your refunding bond, which was your municipal building, your fire truck, your certificate of obligation was your water tower. This is your debt service. This is what you're currently paying. Lastly is your police forfeiture fund. The police forfeiture fund is done when RDAs capture somebody and they have had a nice house or airplanes or a lot of cash. We get a portion of that, we split that with the state. We can only use those funds for police-related items. And so we do use those funds to offset for personnel costs as a majority of that, but we do pay a little bit of our contractual. I do have one capital in there, which is a police vehicle. And then just to kind of highlight your personnel, we did do a salary scale of 2%. Our longevity is paid, and we normally pay that in November, depending on how long you've been here. You do get $4 a month for every month of service, and then it continues to go up. We're required by state law to pay for police and fire longevity. The city council has been so gracious for as long as I have been here to pay longevity to all the staff, not just police and fire. Your medical insurance is budgeted here, as I said, at 15%. We're hoping to negotiate that down. Your retirement fee, or your retirement percentage did go down this year. It was sitting at 20. It came down to 19.49. These are all the salary allocations. I know it's really hard to read, but if you're at home looking at this PowerPoint, you will see how each of the staff is split up by percentage by the fund. So you can see that your general fund isn't taking on 100% of that, of your staff salary. The City Hall, we do close for Christmas holidays. We close from December 24th, and we will reopen on January the 4th. And we will have a public hearing on the 25th, but we will also be discussing the budget on the 4th. So if you would like to hear more about the budget in great detail, if you'd love to sit through this lovely, not boring presentation, you can relive it on August the 4th. Tax rate public hearing, we're hoping will be September the 8th. I do have a 10-year capital plan because everybody wants to know how you're going to spend that $5 million that's sitting over there, because we want to make sure that it's allocated, that I'm not just hoarding money. And so we do have a 10-year capital plan. I'm not going to go through all 10 years with you in each of the departments, but so you know that $5 million, you're not fully funded, your capital plan is not fully funded. No city has a fully funded 10-year capital plan. But we are making strides to make sure that we get as close to funded as possible. And so we do plan for the future. It's just kind of my way of showing you all of our big purchases. We do have plugged somewhere in here. Will all of them happen? No, maybe not. But it's good to have a plan. When I came in, there just wasn't really a kind of capital plan that honed in on, hey, the roof is going to go bad at some point, ACs need to be replaced. And so we really have tried to kind of make sure that large infrastructure projects that we know are going to be needing updating our purchases in the future live somewhere. So if I'm not here, somebody would be able to come in and take a look and make sure that it is budgeted for it somewhere. So there is a 10-year plan for each of the departments. Your police and fire, of course, have the largest one.
but you can see that they all exist here, each of them having their own ending fund balance and what's remaining. And that concludes my budget presentation. Am I over how much?
Oh, you're good.
All right,
You got 2
woo!
minutes.
2 minutes, all right. Well, I stand, that was, for 175 slides, did it under an hour. I apologize, we've changed the budget so much, and so I normally present off the top of my head, so we did this last update on Thursday, and so some of it I wasn't as familiar with as I normally am. So, do I have any questions about the budget? And if so, you can come up to the mic, or I can have somebody take you a mic.
One question about economic development. Since that is a separate tax for economic development only, well, I support the police department. I don't think that fund should be used to pay police salaries.
So your economic tax was, by election, was moved from an economic development corporation kind of status. The way it was adopted very generically. I know what y'all were told during that time, I was here during that time, that it would only be used for economic development type things and community type things. Community related type things. The community related part is what keeps it vague. And allows me to do that legally within the bounds. And so we did check with the attorney. The attorney said it's just moving the tax into your general fund. Technically, I don't really have to allocate it separately, other than the fact that the council adopted an ordinance stating that it should be used for economic and community development. And if you look at that ordinance that was adopted, J is other. So that's my other. The council does not, again, have to adopt it and can move the patrol officer out of there. I'm looking at it as a community resources officer that is on patrol, is how I am setting up that police officer in order to stay in compliance.
Good afternoon, Dr. Crystal. I think I know the answer to this question, but you mentioned that there's some mandates that came from the federal government and the state government. Are there any funds for city operation continuing, coming from either of those entities?
No.
Or we just lose out?
We just lose out. So they're called unfunded state or federal mandates. The big one that hurt y'all this year is House Bill 9, increased property exemption statuses for people that have personal businesses in your home. That accounts for $143,000 loss on your ad valorem side just by itself. So those new, I think there's 4 new exemptions in House Bill 9, allows you to exempt up to $125,000 for at-home, basically at-home businesses. And there's different, of the 4 exemptions, there's different ways to do them essentially. I'm not a tax person, don't plan on doing it, other than I know it in generic terms. And the generic terms is those exemptions have caused the ad valorem tax to decrease substantially this year.
So trying to remember back to the beginning of the presentation, we're $400 and some thousand, and this exemption is like a quarter of it.
That is correct. And so my hypothesis or my theory is going to be that your no new revenue rate is probably going to go close to 3 cents. And so it will be up to the council to either adopt the no new revenue rate or not. And if they don't, then the $454,000 would have to come in some form or fashion, whether it is reduction in contractual professional services or reduction in staff. Y'all did add 3 firefighters last year, and so that may be that the council decides that they don't want to go up to the no new revenue rate or increase their ad valorem tax, that they may have to go back to the original amount of firefighters or other additional staff. The other thing that the council can consider, and I've said this before, is you can cut public works, but then you're only mowing 4 times a year. Or you can cut other staffing. You just have to know that staffing reduction will reduce your services or what y'all are used to having.
Okay, the other item is that you said that the IT, our website has to be ADA compliant, and the cost of that is not what?
An extra $6,000 a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't see how you.
Another mandate. It is an ADA mandate by the Department of Justice came out.
Well, do we have any other of those kind of mandates?
Oh, they happen every year, every 2 years.
I mean, now, currently, do we have anything besides that?
Is it the signs in the bathrooms?
Oh, the signs in the bathroom is a good one for this year. When you see the multi-use sign, that was a House bill that came up, those signs cost us. We like them to look nice because the paper signs, I can print them, they just get ripped off. So we try to make sure that we put them in one time. That was $7,000 to do all those signs. They have to be a certain size, they have to have braille, there's things that have to do with the signs. But essentially, the state came in and said we only want biological male and females to go into biologically male and female restrooms unless I have an alternative. If I have an alternative, which is a single restroom, like y'all know, family restrooms, if I had that alternative here, I don't need that sign. But your park restrooms here in your community and conference center, you don't have individual bathrooms. They're a bathroom with individual stalls inside the bathroom. They require me to put a sign up saying only biological males can enter that restroom or only biological females can enter another restroom. Your park is set up that way as well.
So these mandates just come and land on your desk?
Yes, sir. I keep track. Last year I kept, or not last year, the year, I kept track of over 4,000 potential House bills that were coming through the system. We got hit with 300 of them. Not all of them have money tied to them. Some of them are training. Some of them are just regulations or updates to ordinances. We just did an ordinance update last week on mobile food vending. That also impacted your budget, not by a lot, but we're not allowed to charge mobile food truck vendors anymore. That is regulated by the state now. So the $1,200 a year we would get in mobile food truck permits, we'll no longer have that as a revenue coming in.
So this involves dipping into our pocket and taking money away. Do we ever have a situation where they're sending money our direction?
No, normally they come in forms of grants, like we're getting ready to go to the Texas Development Water Board grant. We're hoping we get $10 million, and I will take the $1,200 and give that to them for the mobile food truck if they'll give me $21 million to do our water.
You're a negotiator.
I'm trying to negotiate. Sorry, we set the mic, Crystal, in my height.
My height.
I have a suggestion for the 450,000 deficit. It's my understanding that we cannot keep 43 employees at the police department. It's just not possible. We always have at least 2 vacancies in the police department on average, and a lot more sometimes. And so I think we should budget for 41 police salaries, not 43. And that's a big part of your deficit right there. So something to think about.
Okay. This year we've been averaging about 1. But yes, there's been years we've averaged 4 vacancies. But that also has to do with salary and benefits that the council has since rectified. Hi.
There's a section of,
Back up.
I just turned it down.
Step back a little bit.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
There you go.
There.
Right
Now,
there.
Lewis, yeah.
there's a section of Hebner Road between Bandera and Evers. And there seems to be a lot of apartments going up there. Do we have any idea how many apartments are up?
So Bandera and Hebner and Evers, that location on the right-hand side aren't apartments; those are homes. They're single-family homes. If you're talking about the apartments on Eckerd and Bandera, those live in the city of San Antonio, not in the city of Leon Valley. So those apartments, I don't know how many are going to go in there. I've been assured that they're not affordable housing. They're just regular apartments, but those are regulated by the city of San Antonio. So if you're talking about the Eckerd, Bandera behind, what's on that corner? Like the old Milano, I know everything by the old stuff, right? Old Milano's Cafe, I don't know what's in there now. That corner, Mexican food. So back there, there's new apartments going up there. Those are the city of San Antonio apartments. But if you're talking about Hebner and Bandera, those to the left-hand side between Hebner and Bandera and Evers on Hebner, those are homes. They're singles, they are squished together, they are very small. The footprint is no really yard in the front, no yard in the back. So they could give the appearance of looking like apartments, but they're not apartments, they're single-family homes.
I still don't know how many.
It's gonna be 100, a total is gonna be 162 homes.
Units.
Homes.
Okay.
Homes.
And on that 162, there will be somewhere between 1 and 2 automobiles dumping traffic onto Eden Road in that one little section.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. And the council knows this has been a point of contention for myself.
150.
160 roughly, yes.
He presented a lot of information this morning, and a lot of detailed information, which is really fantastic. But my memory isn't as good as it was many years ago. And I was wondering, will this be on the webpage for the city?
Yes, sir. So beginning, first thing on Monday, this will start going on our homepage as our proposed budget. We're required under Truth and Taxation to have it on our homepage, so it will go up beginning Monday. I wanted to present to y'all. I usually like to have the no new revenue rate, but we're getting it later and later, so I'm going to go ahead and put this up on the homepage. It also will live in the finance department on the webpage if you'd like to see the various renditions of our budget. We'll put them up there. We'll put draft
Thank you very
1
much.
through 4. You're welcome.
Can we get a hard copy of it?
Yes, if you would like a hard copy of it, if you can just leave your name and number with Sandra, we can either mail it to you, you can come by City Hall and get it.
Thank you.
You are. Any other questions regarding the budget? Any other ideas or recommendations? Thank you, ma'am.
Let's thank Dr. Culver again for the excellent presentation. It's an ongoing process, and we won't finalize it until September. So thank you so much, really appreciate it. All right, 4.1, get back on the 4th of July event. Can I see a show of hands of how many people went to the July 4th
That's one of the
event?
questions on our
Oh,
Mentimeter.
okay, ma'am, I didn't even see that. Okay, all right, just so we get a feel for it, but we're so glad y'all, okay, there you go. All right, so is it Crystal Miranda, are you going to present?
She's going to do the presentation, and then I'll go through the Mentimeter questions.
Oh,
So
she's
there's-
missing me. Okay, does everybody have their?
If you have your cell phone, you can get it out now. We're going to have some Mentimeter, and then I'm going to post the survey on the website.
All right, well, I want to thank I think you didn't know, I thought it was a really nice event on July 4th, real nice hometown event. And Crystal Miranda organized it with a lot of staff support up there and a lot of volunteers from the director's staff. So we thank you for all your efforts for the July 4th event, so I really enjoyed it.
And if y'all want to start getting on Mentimeter, for those of you that done town hall and all that wonderful stuff with us, please, the code is up there on the presentation already, so you can put in the code, but you won't be able to move through the slides until we get there, but you can get prepped for that if you would like to.
All right, so there you go, guys. Here, I'm going to present to you the 4th of July.
You have to get like right
Get
over
real
here.
close to it, okay,
To do the click.
to do the clicker. Gotcha. So the purpose of this presentation is because we want to hear from you, right? Get some feedback. So we are showing you the past 2 years of expenses. In 2024, you had, of course, with sponsorship, a fiscal impact of $141,140. And 2025, similar, $142,000 to put on your big festival, large festival events. In 2026, you had your small town, hometown morning ceremony, and your estimates, because everything has not come in yet, and so this is a close estimate for your fiscal impact. It was a little over $14,000. Okay. So for future events, we want to bring you some options. I think that was discussed. Do you want to have a full event? The large community event, food trucks, the firework display, stage, live entertainment. If you did, we are cost estimating $180,000, and that is a breakdown of your costs. Option number 2, fireworks only, no food trucks, no vendors, no band, no stage, just fireworks at night. Cost estimate of $66,000. And that is the breakdown for the 66K. Option 3, another hometown event like we had this year. Morning ceremony, cost estimate $15,000.
Okay.
Here is your mentee.
Okay, so your Mentimeter, did you attend the Leon Valley 2026 4th of July celebration? So that $180,000 or $140,000 if we're able to obtain the same amount of sponsorships, that's 2 pennies, right? So that's 2 pennies in your tax. If this is an event that you want to continue to have, you could pay for this event out of your reserve fund, but you couldn't continue to do it every year. If you did it every year, eventually you would deplete your reserve fund paid for a 4th of July event. Okay.
Give some time. There's more
Yeah,
than
so
9
maybe
people
a
here.
little bit of time to log in. If you need help logging into Mentimeter, raise your hand. City staff will come by and try to help you. If you have some issues. Man, I lost half my room. Where did everybody go? They don't really care about the 4th, they just care about the budget.
Okay, so
Those figures,
where do I
Yes.
get my?
do not include donations donated.
Though that was with the sponsorships, it's 140. Without sponsorships, it runs about 180. We always try to support all of our events with sponsorships. I just can't rely that we're gonna get every penny every year. So we budget for the full event, and Crystal Miranda does an excellent job to get businesses to donate, to do all of those things. And so we've been able to reduce that cost about $40,000 every year based on her trying to get sponsorship. So it's running us about 140. But we budget 180 just in case because we have contractual obligations when you put on an event. I have to pay for the stage, I have to pay for the entertainment. So we budget for the full amount.
So I got a question about the band.
Sure.
Because I learned that,
Go ahead. read
the
next
Lotus
slide.
Community Band performs
Next
for
one.
free for the whole Lotus July 4th. And so I don't know how much we're paying for a band, but I'm kind of like, well, why can't we use a community band? So just a thought.
Yeah, well, it just depends on what kind of music you want for the event. We were instructed by the previous council, they wanted Spasmatics. They wanted a hip hop kind of, moving, grooving kind of band, not a jazz or something they wanted something a little bit more,
In this year's morning ceremony, we did, right? We had local organization performances, and we did give them some funds, but nothing
Right.
like Spasmatics funds.
So like I think the John Jay kids, they did really well that last, they were $300. The Leon, are, right, 300?
Right, the Ballet Folklorico,
They were
John
all
Jay.
local. The next one is, have you ever attended the Leon Valley 4th of July celebration in previous years? And you can use the QR code if you're still not able to kind of get on there. And it's every year, several times, never. Okay, go ahead and move on. I'm gonna go quickly so we can get through some of this. What is your favorite part of the 4th of July celebration? Is it the fireworks, the live music, food trucks, or family activities?
Parade isn't on there.
Not bring you back to the parade. It's so, it is to close down the streets, to get kids together. It is not,
Okay.
it is hard. We could probably put something small. See, I'm Crystal Miranda, I'm feeling her eyeballs on me. Together, it's the last few years, it hasn't been well attended to get everybody organized to come out there. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next one. Which type of 4th of July celebration would you prefer? The 180, the 66,000, or the 15,000, or no preference? Okay, go ahead and go to the next one. If you preferred an event requires additional funding, which approach would you support? Reallocating funding from another city service, increasing the property tax rate, keeping the smaller event, hold a larger event less often. So we could do a larger event every 5 years, every... And then the idea of coming up and of renting the park essentially to like a special events person and they handle it hasn't been really an option. There isn't anybody, they still require all of our police, fire department support. And so the cost of going out for an RFP to host a special event, last time we went out for it, was way more than the 180,000 that we were spending. Okay, go ahead and go on to the next slide. If your funding for a larger event is not available, which, I guess I double did that one, sorry. Which option do you prefer? Continue with the hometown celebration every year, fireworks only each year, hold a large celebration every 5 years, or discontinue the city-sponsored celebration altogether? And we'll put this survey online to allow people from home. We'll give them a week or whatever. So you can let your neighbors know to fill it out. Okay, go ahead to go to your next one. If the city held a large 4th of July celebration every 5 years, what should happen in the other years? So if we held a 4th of July every 5 years, would you like to discontinue it during those off times, like take a break, continue hometown celebration, fireworks only, or no event at all? Okay, you can go to the next one. Considering all city services, where should the 4th of July celebration rank as a budget priority? High, medium, low, or not a priority? Okay, go ahead and go to the next one. If Leon Valley continues with the smaller 4th of July celebration, what improvement would you make or would like, that would make you want to attend? And this is open-ended, so just type in whatever you want. Linda Meffert had a good idea of the passport, kind of, which the economic development group is considering doing, but they're doing this piece first as one of the programs later on, either next year. That's something that they are wanting to do, is like the bingo card. That's she sent us an email yesterday making some suggestions, or making a suggestion. Using our local eateries around here to participate in the 4th, which we've done before. We've had the Taste of Leon Valley. It's a little harder, I think, for some of them that have brick and mortar because they don't have a mobile component to them, so they don't really like to participate too much, but there are a few. Give you a little bit more time on this one because y'all are required to type. Okay, go ahead and go to the next one. What activities or attractions would you like to see added to the hometown style 4th of July celebration? Don't worry, you'll have it. For those of you that want the large one, a large 4th of July, those are coming. Those questions are coming. But for the small event, what would you like to see? Again, open-ended question. Just kind of type it in. I don't know why it's so small. Sorry about the size of the title up there. I did it my best. I know people always ask, what about John Marshall Band? They're off for the summer. You know, it's a little harder to kind of wrangle up those kids.
And I do reach out to John Marshall, right? So I do reach out to them, and every year for every event that we have, whether it be 4th of July or the Christmas event, I reach out to the band director and the assistant directors, but unfortunately they're either occupied or it's not on their calendar, they can't make it out here.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next one. You should still be able to respond. If the city hosted a large celebration, would you support paid parking to reduce taxpayer cost?
Where would that be?
I would charge here, I would charge at the park, any public
Okay.
facility, so we get a lot of parking here. I'll put some staff on some of our public streets, and you have to pay for parking on public streets to try to offset the costs. Like temporary metering for the day. If I could get temporary meters for the day, I would. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Just, even because most people are parking along the streets in front of people's houses, those would be charged too.
Well, I would try my best. I was trying really hard to do the big parking lots here, Raymond Rimkus across the street by the pool. But some of the main ones, my cherry leaf people, my peach tree people, get a little frustrated with the parking that's on their street. We normally don't have parking attendants. We don't put anybody over there. But I was looking at, maybe we could have some staff for a portion of the day, just stand there and charge, $5, $10, whatever that is, to park in the street. If I could get temporary meters for the day, if that was a thing, I would certainly do that and put them in front of everybody's house and charge that way. But so that one needs to be worked out. Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, just a question.
Okay.
And then you would have to pay the people to be the meter parking attendant.
Yeah, so what y'all don't know, for those of you that aren't here, we do pay our police and fire because they're hourly staff. But the majority of your staff that is here running that event or your exempt staff that you see here today, they don't get paid extra. They don't get double time. They miss that day with their family they have for the last 20 years. They were here even for your small hometown event. We staffed it with exempt staffing in order to make sure we kept that overtime dollar down for y'all. And so they donate their time to be here, or they're voluntold to be here by me, but they're here, and they do it with, I wouldn't say no complaining, but with little complaining.
Wait, what? I'm out of here.
Okay, go on to the next one.
This is.
If the city hosted a larger celebration, would you support gating the entire park and charging an entry fee to reduce the cost to taxpayers? So we would gate the park. That was one of the ideas that came out last Tuesday. We had the Alonzo family there, and that was one of their kind of thoughts, was to charge an entry fee. What people don't know is I can't just charge an entry fee without gating the park because we're so open. So we would have to gate the entire park and charge an entry fee that way.
But then that costs extra money for the gate.
It does. It does.
So that negates it.
I don't know if depending on how much you charge. So go to the next slide. What would you consider a reasonable fee? $1, $5, $10, or it should be free?
Should be free.
And so then that comes back to like having us going out and having somebody come in and manage it. People that want to come in and manage your event, where they're going to make you money for this event, that's what they're doing. So if you look at any San Antonio event, including Fiesta event, even if you haven't been to Linda Meffert's coffee event, they still charge to get into that event. It's $25. It's not free to go into those events. If you're charging for a free event, those special event coordinators don't want to do those types of events because they're not going to make any money off of that event, because we can't control outside food or drinks for the vendors to either. So that goes on to the next.
So this would be per person?
Correct. So what would you, $1, $5, $10, or should it be free? And that was also came out of the Alonzo family. That was also one of the recommendations. Yes, ma'am, in the back.
I think also it'd be nice to be able to show the sign that says, entry fee or parking fee, and underneath you can put, thank you. And when you have the signs that have the fee, you can add perhaps the reason all costs or fees go to support our firefighter or police officers. And in this way, people feel like, I think they'll be more acceptable and gladly pay. It's not double pay. They know that.
Well, it's not going to them. It's just going to pay for them to be there.
Exactly.
Yes, to pay for them to be at the event. itself.
Exactly.
Yeah, and not just regular overtime, it's double time.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It's double time that day.
You could say 5 or under 3 ages.
Strollers are.
That's 1 month old.
Yes, okay, go on to the next slide. I'm sorry that I did this slide, so please don't, on my computer, the letters looked really big. If the city hosted a larger celebration, would you support no outside food or drink so the city can charge a higher vendor pricing? Again, this would go back to gating the park though. We would have to gate the park in order to be able to control that.
And just a background too, I have made packages for big sponsorships to like Budweiser and things like that, and they won't unless we actually make no food or drinks allowable inside of our facility or our event.
They don't want to be held responsible because people can bring in outside drinks, beer. So they don't want to sponsor the event, and they're using their TABC license to sell. And if you're allowing outside food and drinks, including alcohol, right, we're not regulating that, they don't want to take on that liability. So every liquor vendor we've had has been either a brewery or somebody that's just trying to get their name out there, have been the ones willing to sponsor or have a booth at our event. Go to the next slide. What time of day do you prefer the event? Morning, afternoon, evening, or no preference?
Depends on if there's fireworks.
Yeah, well, some comments I got that morning were like they liked that it was cooler, but they still would have liked the hometown event in the evening time or later on in the day. To give them something, I think, to do later on in the afternoon.
We have no place to go on July 4th.
But I bet you that memory of being in that car looking for somewhere to go will be a core memory for them. Go to the next slide. Any other thoughts or ideas about the city's budget or the 4th of July? Just an open-ended question. Anything, I didn't make any sense doing the budget presentation. Whatever you feel comes to your heart, just an open-ended question on city's budget or the 4th of July or anything related to the city at all. Feel free to put any of your thoughts and feelings on the PowerPoint presentation. And that is the last question, but feel free to continue typing. And then just a little plug, the City of Leon Valley is also going through its master plan process, and so you will be getting a postcard here in the mail, and if you don't, please look online for the information. We're going to be asking each of the communities to come out, kind of give your input on your communities. It's broken down into quadrants, so those meetings will be broken up over the month of August timeframe. And so please, we want to hear from you. This is the first time the city's really invested in the city's master plan. We've always done it in-house, which Melinda and her team, Christy Flores, everybody has over the years have done an excellent job in doing. But this will be the first time we've had it done by an engineering firm, including portions of your economic development, as well as transportation will also be included in this master plan. So If you were participating during the TxDOT kind of a public hearing, you will see that they did this really great master plan for Bandera Road, and then there was this really big dark spot in the middle of Bandera Road. Well, that was Leon Valley, because Leon Valley hadn't had an updated traffic plan. And so me and the mayor asked if we could tag onto that plan, and they declined. And so now we will have a pretty plan too to kind of go along with that as well, but really kind of digging into our future traffic plan and our true kind of vision for the city in the future. So please participate in the master plan discussions. Your opinion on that really does matter. Michael and Sarah, myself, our engineering group, the council has a 13-member resident committee that is also helping with that, but your opinion does matter on that plan, so please participate.
There's a survey.
There is a survey. Is it online yet?
Yes, it's on the website.
Okay, it's on the website.
Okay.
Here you go, Mayor.
Okay, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Okay, yes, so the master plan, there's going to be zoning meetings, so you'll be able to go to the meeting in your neighborhood. That's coming up, I'm not sure when, but it's an exciting process. One of the things that came out at our first meeting was connectivity. How can we connect the neighborhoods to the Bandera Road future project with the hike and bike trails on both sides, the 10-foot paths, again, in the future. But I thought that was an exciting concept. So, okay, one more thing, two things I wanted to say. I wanted to say congratulations to Regina Reed. She has brought in 3 grants for about $87,000 or $90,000. So thank you. That's a really big deal for our community and workforce development, and I think adult education as well. And then Dave Demeline just received a grant from his efforts for a household hazardous waste pickup, $25,000, which we will schedule in October. So congratulations. Our we work tirelessly in trying to get free monies that help supplement our budget, as you know. So thank you so much. Anything else before we leave? I can't believe we're actually early. Yes, Councilwoman Beth Marsh. Mayor Pro Tem.
Is Leon Valley going to have a school supply drive this year?
Yes.
I haven't heard anything about it. We're running out of summer.
They will start August the 1st through
August the
September 1st.
Through September the 1st. The barrels will be in their regular spots at the library, city hall, the fire station, the community centers.
Thank you for bringing that up. I completely missed that as well. Yes.
Is the city,
Here you go, hang on. Put you on record.
is the city planning anything for our 75th founding?
That's not in the budget, so we need to look at that. That's going to be March 31st of next year, is our 75th anniversary.
Yeah, it did come up during the initial budget. It's been asked by the council. I think what we concluded was just to kind of commemorate with the proclamation, we're getting our Veterans Monument in. But to host an event, just overtime alone runs you about $5,000 on average. So even a small event. So the council hasn't expressed interest in doing anything large. We've been focused on the 4th of July.
But that's a good idea, because we've had anniversaries all along. I know we had a big 40th anniversary many years ago. Yes. Mr. Mayor,
May I ask
If I could just break in on you for just a second.
Okay.
Can you tell me where to drop off bags of old pills and things?
They're located on the front of the fire station, they're in the library, they're in City Hall, they're here somewhere, and they're in the community center.
Thank you very much.
Drop off for pills, any unused medication, we have different locations. We email them.
I have a question about the status of the old library location building. As I remember, there was discussion in the November, December timeframe of 25, and there was going to be some kind of action taken by January, February. What are we doing there?
So I'm ignoring it for right now. And the reason, and I say that, you know, facetiously, there you go, I can't speak this morning. The big reason for that is Regina dropped everything one day when I emailed her and said, hey Regina, there's this really cool idea I had on this grant and it's due in 2 days. And she did drop everything, she applied for the grant. We are hopeful to land about $500,000. It won't cover the entire cost, but will cover some of it. And so we're looking at possibly doing like an expansion portion of the library, and we could take, not the size that they currently have right now, but a portion of that to help with the Friends sell of books. But before I demolish that, get rid of all their books, I would like to see if we get this grant first. And so we can work together to kind of come up with an idea for it. So it should have come back already, but nobody's really allowed in the building. We allow them to go get books, and they've been selling at the library in the children's wing area once every.
They've been doing it once every month, but they're going to go back to the biannual.
And so that's what they're currently doing right now. Until I get word on the grant, we're being recommended, we've passed the House. And so we're hoping we'll get some funds in regards to that, and we can take some money from our reserve fund and put together a nice little project for the library.
So there is a plan.
But it's my plug on why you keep your reserve fund over $3 million.
Okay.
It's a federal
It is a
grant,
federal
but we
grant.
got support from Representative Castro.
And when do we expect some kind of time frame for this, answer to this?
We don't know, but we're hoping by Christmas.
Ooh, another year.
No,
Another 6 months.
6 months.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
And I think it was at 1
We asked for 6.7.
6.7 million.
But they're gonna give us we're looking about $500,000 of the 6 points. I was asking for Rainbow Sunshine and
But
everything.
still, we appreciate the support from our congressman because that helped move the project forward. So, yes, Rita.
Oh, Linda left. Hello, there she is. Hi, Linda. On the anniversary celebrations, it doesn't have to be a big deal. If you just had little banners along the way saying, proud 75 years of Leon, I mean, how difficult or expensive could that be?
No.
Very good.
We could
Yes,
certainly
we
do
need
that.
to- We need to do something, I think. Right.
We didn't do anything for this.
Since we got the hardware for the 250th 4th of July, for especially in the 2 city markers, that would be a place to put the banners for the anniversary celebration. And we've already got the hardware, so it would just be the banners.
Yes, that's a great idea.
That's why I love these.
American Legion.
There you go, American Legion.
Get the American Legion to have the big event for the 75th.
Yeah, they won't give me $300.
They'll still require services from us, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying, it's not free. So like the American Legion, we budget for their event in our budget. So if you would have noticed on one of the special events, there's $300 budgeted. But because we do that, we help them support the 9/11 event. We ask them to help support the new monument that we're putting, and to no avail, they haven't given us any money to help support. So they haven't really been open, and so during the Flag Day ceremony, we told them they had to do it during the week, so I wouldn't pay for overtime, because we were paying for overtime, putting out chairs, doing their whole event for them, and they were just kind of showing up for the event. And so we've told them that they would have to do it during operating hours. It rained out their event, but they haven't really been supportive on the monetary side of things, and so, but they were here for our 4th of July, they participated in our event, and so we're grateful for that, and grateful for their service.
Yvonne, did you have something?
Oh, I was just gonna say, maybe the Historical
We've got
Society
we've got a
could help
microphone.
out in that regard. I mean, that's,
The Historical Society,
maybe they could do something. They have funds.
Great idea. So we can plan that soon.
Have the celebration at the homestead.
Have a celebration at the homestead? Okay.
Yeah.
Like bring more people in. Exactly. Okay.
What actual date?
It's March 31st. 1952 is when they went up to Austin to incorporate our city.
I was thinking we could get the high school involved.
Definitely,
Maybe get the high school involved. During the week.
You know, what boggles my mind is that I attend the Veterans Day celebration at the Leon Valley Elementary School, and every year they have the John Marshall Band there. I'm like, what? And I could tell the principal, how do you ever get John Marshall here? Because we can't get them until Leon Valley. But yeah, it's amazing. Maybe if we plan far enough in advance, they could come out, but they do a great job. They really do. Okay, anyone else?
We did a time capsule. We did a time capsule for the last one, so maybe just a time
Let's
capsule.
do a time capsule. Okay. Great idea. Okay, anything else? Tina, did you want to share something?
No, I was doing an analogy.
Oh, an analogy. Okay. All right. Well, if there's no further comments, then we will move to adjourn at 10:43 on Saturday, July 25th. And thank you so much for your participation. Again, thanks to the council, thanks to the staff, and thanks to all of you for being here. We appreciate it. All right. Thank you.